I love the Masters of Scale podcast. It's an amazing podcast for an entrepreneur like me. And in one of the very first episodes, they say, if you're not ashamed by your product at launch, you've launched too late. I've never been ashamed of my oyster knife. But the packaging, that's not going to happen to this product. Let's make something exquisite and elegant to match this new titanium oyster knife. So this case will mostly be made on my Workbee CNC router, which is a great little machine for the price. This one has a lot of upgrades, but the big downside is it has an old Windows laptop. So it has been doing updates because I'm spending all my time on the Silex 7. Yeah, well, it happens. So, nice test for my new microphone. What we're doing now is we're flattening the spoil board. We moved the machine over. It's on wheels, which is awesome, but it also means that the frame has moved a bit. So we now need to get the table straight again, and that's what we're doing by, removing the top layer, making everything parallel to the spindle. So with the spoil board flattened, I'll fixture the piece. For this, I'm using tape and glue. Why? You can do it in all kinds of different ways, with clamps, with window machining, but with the tape and glue you have enough holding power and you have zero work at the end. When you remove the material, you don't have to sand any tabs or something like that. It's amazing. It is a bit more time in the setup, but I find that you'll win it back later. So if we want to show in this video what we're actually going to make, it might be nice to show you the design. So this is the case with the cover on. Here we'll have lots of space for engraving from logos, from my own logo, but also for companies who want to buy and sell this knife, like restaurants. And here we will have, the case itself with here steel strips so that the cover can magnetically click into place. The thing is, the whole subsidized project that I'm doing right now, in order to get the government money, it has to be circular. So that means no glues, no varnishes, nothing. So I devised a rather nice way of holding down that steel strip. And the first part we're going to make are these real small, end pieces, I suppose. So this is what we're going to make first on the Workbee. So I have an adaptive, drilling the holes, and then a contour plus a horizontal to clean everything up, and hopefully that will be fine. So when you're CNC milling with the sill, you don't see anything because of the whiteout, because of all the coolant that's spraying. But with a CNC router, you're not seeing much either. Okay, I can't really say this was a success. I was with my big mouth saying that tape and glue is never ever a problem. Well, today it apparently is. So I had 3 pieces come loose. It's not so much in the holding method, it's more in the the code. So I have to finish everything and then I have to remove the final tabs at the bottom. And now I removed them too early, and then I was doing some horizontal passes on top. So yeah, more holding strength by keeping it in the wood, and then at the very last moment removing some tabs. So let's try this again. This time I faced this surface because I saw that it was not even, so that also doesn't help when you're trying to glue down stuff. And I'm gonna use more glue, because more glue is always better, right? In its final passes, and I really hope that it doesn't fling away the piece. It didn't. Success. Yeah, that's definitely a lot better attached. Part better as well, because I sanded it here. Great. So this is my wood supply, and I have quite a lot of it. So I won't be running out of wood shortly. What I am running short at is a planer. I had one in my old workshop. Well, it was in the workshop and I was allowed to use it. I don't have it around here, so we have to tinker around a bit until we have the funds to buy one. They're expensive. But this is going to be the main body of the case. See, that's more like it. So I just put in the block. Code is now on the laptop, thanks to Dropbox. So if I now do double click, it should run. It takes around an hour. Okay, so let's see what we've milled. Not too bad. Have to sand a bit more, but we'll get there. So it's now milling the cover, and it's actually flattening it as well. So that means I don't have to do this by hand or by sanding, but I really need some more wood flattening material. Okay, so we've been making parts all week, and it's time to show you people what we've actually been making. So this is the knife. It goes in like this. These are steel parts that I just received, and they will be used for magnetic clamping as well as for, well, a certain aesthetic and looks. These are dowel pins, and they will be pushed in here on a later stage. These are the first parts we made, the decorative end pieces. Here we have a cover where we will screw in some magnets, and this will go like this. And we have a beautiful, nice case. Here it's going to be a beautiful laser engraving, but at first I need to sand everything flat and need to sand away these tool marks. So yeah, it's coming together very nicely. So why make such a complicated case? The answer is difficult and simple at the same time. So I got a government grant to buy this SAIL CNC, and I got that government grant based on circular economy, which means that all the materials that are put into the product should be recycled at the end of the lifetime. So no chemicals, no glues, because you're never going to get rid of it. That's why the knife is completely made out of titanium. A solid block of titanium, because I'm going to send the knife away, and if the customer is tired of it and he doesn't want it anymore, he can ship it back and we'll recycle it for them. The same with the case. If you want to use magnets, which I want to use because I did the paper wrapper a couple of times now, I want something different. So if you want to use magnets, you need to do a steel on wood construction, and that's usually very difficult. if you don't want to use glue. So that's why we have the dowel pins with the clamping parts, because then we can use that magnet. And all in all, it will be a very nice case with a lot of thought that went into it. Okay, so we're working out a lovely bit of tolerancing issues. So this is a metal part, it's spot on because it's lasered by stainless steel. And this is my, well, CNC milled. And I can see that the calibration of my stepper engines is a bit off because this one's stuck. And this one, I'm about, well, 0.3 millimeters short. Even less than that, but yeah, I'm a bit short, so it doesn't fit. So I have to remove some material here, cheat a bit to get these samples working, and then recalibrate my stepper motors, because you can say from here to here is so many steps, and if it does a step more, you'll end up a bit more in this direction. So we can fix that, but for now we have to do it by a Dremel. So now that everything is flush, we're gonna play with one more machine, which is the K40 laser. So this is a very hobbyistic machine compared to this one, but it does its job usually very well. So do a test laser first, and then do a nice pattern. So the SD card ran out of memory, which is a shame, but I think that's looking really, really nice. Nice coat of oil on there, and that's absolutely gorgeous. Even though we do the reject because this is here and this knot is here. But just look at the pattern. I think it's a really nice case for a knife like this. So this is the prototype of the Oyster knife case. And I'd like to say, who doesn't like to receive a knife in a case like this? So we have this beautiful engraving. I think it worked out really well. This was a different color in the vector, so I need to change that so that's the same, well, intensity. But I'm really happy with this engraving. I need to change some things in the geometry here to make sure that it always fits, and also this would have been reject. So this is good enough for my personal case, but it's not good enough for a customer. But if we open it up, we have the magnets in here. We already drilled with the router the holes inside, and we just had to screw it down. It was super easy. I'll put this aside, but within view. Here we have the actual knife inside the case. So the knife is of the very of episode 2, and it fits really nicely. And I have some space here for documentation and manual stuff like that. So this is now still plain metal. I think I'll tumble it in the future to have it a bit more shiny, a bit more of a look, or maybe black powder coat. That would also be really an amazing look. So this needs to be sanded more. Yeah, I'll really need to buy that planer, but for this, I think we can be very happy. I really hope you enjoyed this video of Made for Oysters. I really liked making this case, and I hope you did so too. If you have some tips for me, please leave them in a comment below, and I'll see you on the next episode. And don't forget to subscribe because it really helps me a lot. Thank you very much for your time.